Hello, everybody. I got a book haul. Some are from the Athens library, and some are from a couple little free libraries that are close. I'm looking for something specific, and so far I haven't found it, but I've only been looking for today, so I can't get too upset over that. Um, let's start with the little free library in Syracuse, Ohio. I picked up 3 books by Sarah Dessen. This one is called That Summer. I would try to read that, but it's very blurry. More things change. For 15-year-old Haven, there's just too much going on. First, there's her brother's wedding to Lorna Queen, the local television weather pet. Then, her sister Ashley's wedding to boring Louis Warsher, who doesn't seem to suit Ashley at all, and Haven can't ignore the fact that she's nearly 6 feet tall and still growing. Haven can barely figure out who she is anymore or where she fits in. Then Ashley's old boyfriend, Sumner Lee, shows up and sparks Haven's memories of the summer when her parents were happy, her sister was plucky and carefree, and everything was perfect, or so it seemed. Yeah, I must be more tired than I thought. I just got off work and got home, spent the night. Sarah Dessen's along for the ride, and nothing on the back, so I'm going to guess there's a bicycle involved since there's one on the cover. Riding a bike is only one of the many things Auden's missed out on. Okay, well, I'm not reading all that. And this is Dreamland. Yeah, let's put dark print on a dark background. Uh, Ever since she started going out with Rogerson Fisco, Caitlin seems to have fallen into a semi-conscious dreamland where nothing is quite real. Rogerson is different from anyone Caitlin has ever known. He's magnetic, he's compelling, he's dangerous. Being with him makes Caitlin forget about everything else. Her missing sister, her withdrawn mother, her lackluster life. But what happens when being with Rogerson becomes a larger problem than being without him? That sounds like there might be a thriller element to it. It's in pretty rough condition, but it's from a little free library, so I can't complain too much. And this is Battle of the Labyrinth. It's one of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, book 4 by Rick Riordan. I've really enjoyed this series. I don't know if I've read that particular one. It's already hot, and it's only 9:15 in the morning. I feel like my eyeballs are sweating. Um, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, Rick Riordan. I really enjoyed his Percy Jackson books, and I'm not sure if I've read that particular one. I will have to look it up. I would like to have the set eventually. So, on my way home, since I'm looking for something in particular, I thought, well, let's stop and check the one down the street here in Racine. I found one called Picnics of Provence, French country-style picnics to enjoy at home or abroad. So this basically gives you some menus. little closer so you can see. And then tells you a little bit about the area and introduction to French country style picnics. I know there's some maps in here. Here's a map. And here's Van Gogh's Market Feast at Arles. Salade rouge et vert, which is a cooked red pepper and asparagus salad. I don't even know how to say that. Saucisson d'Arles, which is a regional salami on baguettes with sliced tomato and cornichon, which are the little teeny tiny pickles. Umebashi, which are Japanese salted plums. Orchard fresh peaches, plums, pears, apricots. That sounds good. Côte de Provence Rosé, which is a chilled wine of the region. So that's what you would take if you did that particular. There's a Van Gogh painting. So it seems like each place has a map, or each picnic has a map, and apparently a Van Gogh painting to go with it. Some of these paintings I don't recognize, so that's kind of cool. I like that one. One of the cypress trees and a dramatic sky. He was great at dramatic skies. So I'll have to look a little closer and see if I can learn a little bit about the art. Found a sticker. It says, "Get in, we're going book shopping." And pretty bookmark. Because you can never have too many bookmarks. I'm always losing bookmarks. I also found No Excuses Art Journaling, Making Time for Creativity. And I like how it talks about what kind of supplies, how to prepare your journal, and ways that you can do some of the pages. Kind of like this. Oh, that's pretty. I'd like to have that much talent. I went to art school, but my art was photography, not painting. I like how each month they have a guest artist as well, so you can get different styles, more inspiration. Oh, that's cool. I definitely want to look into this a little more. Maybe this will get me finally starting my journal. For some reason, I just can't get out of my head. And then I have Eat and Explore Ohio. It's a cookbook and travel guide. So here, just randomly turning, we have a recipe for whole grain pancakes. We have an entry about the Asian festival held in May at Franklin Park in Columbus. Here we have some soups: pureed cauliflower soup, Brussels sprout soup, creamy fall fruit soup. That's intriguing. Butter chopped onion. pumpkin pie spice, ginger, pumpkin, applesauce, chicken broth, heavy cream, and optional apple chunks. Hmm, interesting. And I like that it tells you where they got the recipes from. So the creamy fall fruit soup comes from Cooper's Mill Apple Butter and Jelly Factory. The Brussels sprout soup comes from Ann's Raspberry Farm. Pureed cauliflower soup comes from the Galley in Marietta, Ohio. Well, that's only about an hour from here. Interesting. Spicy tomato soup. And of course, that one doesn't tell you where it's from. Pyramid Hill Sculpture Park and Museum in Hamilton, Ohio. Well, that's interesting. I had to check that out someday. Old Man's Cave. That's not that far from here, about an hour. Columbus Park of Roses. North High Street, Columbus. Lantern Light Wagon Rides and Corn Maze in Clarksville, Ohio. Bonnybrook Farm. I'm not sure where Clarksville is. It's a 937 area code, so northwest of here. West Central, so that would be like Dayton, Springfield, that general area. 513 is Cincinnati area. It used to be Dayton, now it's Cincinnati. We're in the 740. 614 is Columbus. So yeah, 937 would be Dayton, Springfield-ish. Of course, that's a pretty big area. Preble County, so Eaton is in there too. Williamsburg, June in Old Williamsburg. Began as a bicentennial celebration in 1996, but now, years later, continues to offer activities. Huh. Williamsburg orange cake. Well, this is pretty interesting. I'm learning more about my state. So, Viola Armstrong soft molasses drops from the Neil Armstrong. It's Neil Armstrong's mother, and there's an Armstrong Air and Space Museum up in Wapakoneta, and that's a 419 area code, so that's Toledo. Wapak is up toward Toledo from here. It's up in this area, right around up in here. I'm down here. I've been to the Neil Armstrong Museum, and it's really quite interesting. Union County Covered Bridge Bluegrass Festival in North Lewisburg. Huh. I didn't know Union County was known for their covered bridges. Covered bridge brownies. My dad was into covered bridges. We traveled all over the state. All over the state. And in Indiana and wherever else. Looking at bridges, taking pictures of bridges. Delaware, Ohio. That's in 740, so that's southeast. Hamburger Inn cinnamon roll bread pudding. I love bread pudding. 2 loaves cinnamon bread or cinnamon rolls. 12 eggs, 3 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. 2 tablespoons vanilla. 3 quarts milk. 1 pound salted butter. 4 cups heavy cream. Well, that's a lot of cream. Oh my gosh. Those are going to be rich. I can feel my blood sugar going up just reading the recipe. Yankee Peddler Festival. Held every year on the 3 weekends following Labor Day in North Lawrence, Ohio. It gives an 800 number, so I'm not entirely sure where North Lawrence is. But apparently they have apple fritters, and they look really quite tasty. That looks like there's some good stuff in here. I'm glad I found that. Okay, and then at the Athens Library, they always have a section where you can buy books, and then there's a section that have free books. These are all mixed up. Um, but I did find more orange spine penguins. I found Bed and Breakfast by Lois Battle. I think this one came out of the freebie section. The others I bought. This one's called Icy Sparks by Gwen Hyman Rubio. Apparently it was part of Oprah's book club. The Piano Teacher by Janice K. Lee. I like this strip at the bottom. That's really pretty. The Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards. I couldn't remember if I already had this one or not, so I went ahead and picked it up. If I do, I'll pretend it's the free one and then pass it on. And The Gates of the Alamo by Stephen Harrigan. That's a chunker. How big is this one? .580 pages. Woo! Chunky, chunky. I also picked up Betty Crocker Chicken Tonight, 100 Recipes for the Way You Really Cook. And Hungry Girl, Recipes and Survival Strategies for Guilt-Free Eating in the Real World. That's by Lisa Lillian. I've looked at some of these Hungry Girl books before, and some of the recipes sounded really good. So now I can finally stick a copy of this on my shelf. Or in one of my cookbook bins or wherever. Dreamy Chocolate Peanut Butter Fudge. Ooh, does that look good? Thought it was brownies at first. What else we got? Cookie-rific Ice Cream Freeze. Lord of the Onion Rings. Yummy Butternut Home Fries. Bring on the Breakfast Pizza. Tutti Frutti Crunch Yogurt Parfait. Ooh, that sounds good. That looks good. That'd be a good breakfast. Eggs Benedict. And Big Bopper Burger Stopper with cheese. Loaded and oated veggie pizza. So there's... The pictures look good. I would absolutely eat this yogurt parfait for breakfast if I had the stuff to make it. There's something with shrimp in it. What's that? Hacked and whacked Santa Fe Shrimp Supreme. I don't know. Some of these things look really good. There's a lot of wraps. She does a lot of wraps. But if you want a light lunch, ooh, what's that? Rockin' Restaurant Spinach Dip. Magical low-calorie margarita. There we go. I'll take a margarita. There's a pina colada. I can't believe it's not sweet potato pie. What are you making it with then? Ooey gooey chili cheese nachos. I want the margarita. Come to think of it, I didn't have my margarita for Cinco de Mayo this year. I'm slipping. Ooh, layered berry custard crostata. That looks fantastic. PB and chocolate bread pudding bonanza. Woo-hoo. Caramel pumpkin pudding cupcakes. Chocolate pudding crunch explosion. I think we found my page right there. Look at all these beautiful desserts. And you know, that's probably the healthiest on the page. And it looks so good. But I love fresh berries and that kind of thing. But I do like that she does the research. She tests out all the different things. And she tries to find, you know, substitutions that still taste good, but will lower the calories and what have you. Then I picked up some magazines. Most of these are for my sister-in-law. This one is for me. Memory Makers magazine. It's got stuff for scrapbooking and what have you. And the way I look at it, scrapbooking and journaling are very similar. So I can take some of these elements and apply them to a journal. There's some good ideas. I like how they, cut out pictures the shape of an apple for back to school and apple harvest season. I like the shape of the leaves that they use in this one. There's even a section on kids, kids corner. There's some Disney related things. Film strips, die cuts, tells you different things you can use, gives you ideas how to put it all together. Thought that was pretty nice. And then I found one called Interweave Knits from spring 2011. Cover up the address. I don't know who donated these, but my sister-in-law is a knitter, so for some reason you never find knitting books, or rarely, I should say rarely, find knitting books and the like when you're going through book sales. I guess it's one of those things people hoard. Oh, that is pretty. I like that. Oh, she would love that. She'd probably love to have her own spinning wheel. Then I found 5 issues of Happily Hooked, which is more crochet, but she does some crochet. So what do we have? This one's from 2021. Enjoy the sunrise, graceful, and stash busters patterns from our past 3 digital issues. This one is 2018, 2019. And these 2 are both 2017. This lady looks familiar. Why do I feel like I know her? Does it say who she is? She looks like a lady I worked with years ago. Age 35. Well, if that is who's in the picture, it's not the person I know. Designed by Michelle Costa. A little pencil pouch, that's cute. There was a bear. Where'd the bear go? I lost the bear. A little back to school bear. Cell phone pouch with a frog on it. There's some cute ideas in here. There's a block. Some earrings. Messenger bag. Looks like a sock monkey. That's probably why they call it monkey business. Because they're using the colors of a sock monkey. I don't know. I think there's some cute projects in there, and if she decides she wants to do more crochet, she can. And the other thing I picked up were, I think these are stickers, but there's little art supply, a palette and a brush and a couple crayons. Since I'm an artsy person, I thought those would be nice to put in with my. I'm gonna put them in my sticker box, and then when I am finally out of my head enough to do some projects, I'll have something to work with. So that's all I've got for right now. Man, I managed to drag this out to almost a half hour. Didn't think it was going to take that long, but I start looking at the books and get sidetracked. But y'all know that. I do that every time I do a book haul. I think that's all that I have to share at the moment. I know I shared this in a haul a while ago. Got it from the Dollar Tree. I did finally read it. I enjoyed it. My Almost Flawless Tokyo Dream Life by Rachel Cohn. Take that out. It's about a girl named Ellie who finds out that she has a father in Japan. He's a very rich business tycoon, hotel manager, owner guy. Anyway, big money. Her mom is in prison for drugs, and so she ends up going to Tokyo to live with her dad and attending the International Collegiate School of Tokyo, where she meets a bunch of expats from different countries, and she kind of hits it off with this one kid that her family's not too keen on because of something her father was accused of doing, whether he did it or not. And um, I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh, I need to go to bed. um, I did notice something though. I have a couple books I haven't hauled that were stuck over there. We'll haul these in just a second. Anyway, she ends up having this romance, and they go to all these different locations, and I really like the description of the locations. I like the relationship between Elle and Rue. At least that's how they pronounced it in the audiobook. Um, I liked how that built, but I really liked the locations. And I've watched a lot of videos and things on YouTube set or from Japan showing the different places. So I kind of had an idea in my head what they looked like, and reading about them makes me want to go and see them. Okay, these came from the... I feel like there's a couple missing. I don't know. From the little free library here in Racine at a different time. I have a coloring book, Dinosaurs, Dino Attack coloring and activity book. There's Archelon. It looks like a sea turtle. Parasaurolophus. Sure. Plesiosaurus. There's some cute pictures in there. And I also found the monster at the end of this book, the little golden book. Unfortunately, the gold tape on the edge is missing. But I remember this from when I was a kid. I read it a lot. And I found Frozen 2 as a little golden book. I think there's a couple more, and they seem to have been eaten by my pile of junk. And then we found a My Little Pony book, Applejack's Day on the Farm. So Neko's going to get this one. It's a little board book, but it's ponies, so... Hello, friends. My name is Applejack. I love to pick apples and work on the farm. The apples I grow are always so sweet. Yummy! I can't wait to share them with my friends. I show Twilight Sparkle how to make my favorite treat, apple pie. I take time away from working to play with my friends. So you got Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash. At the end of the day, you can find me practicing rodeo at the corral. Sweet Apple Acres is such a great place to work and play. What? No Rarity? No Spike? No Fluttershy? Well, effective book. Only half the main 6 are there. And according to the Neko, Fluttershy is the best one. And she's not in the book. But Twilight Sparkle's there. If I was a pony, I'd be Twilight Sparkle. Because she's the bookish one. Anyway, I think that'll do it. So remember to do all the YouTube-y things. Comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon to be notified of future uploads should the YouTube gods deem it worthy. And I'll see you in the next one. I have a little bit of a training to finish online, and then if I see the Neko at some point, maybe I can get him to sit down long enough and we can work on some of the boxes. Because we've got 4 in the stack right now waiting to be done, and there's a 5th one on the way. I just can't keep up. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.